There's one thing I've learned this year, 2024, is that mobility is a privilege. Having a car is an elite privilege. Having legs that can take you places with general ease is a privilege. Having the ability to walk without aids with no car is a gift. Having the ability to walk with a brace that still allows you to use transit easily is a gift. But a strain if you have to walk a long distance and into inaccessible buildings. Having mobility issues that requires a cumbersome mobility device makes walking long distance and transit travel extremely more difficult and impossible to access inaccessible buildings. If you are in the last category, you feel like you're a burden and an afterthought because nobody able bodied or with a car can relate. So there is a reason that I don't go to many events or gatherings these days. I either ignore invites or say no. And when you ask for a ride, you can hear the sighs in the emails and the texts and the silent space on the other end of the phone. The person who is usually the furthest from you is tasked with picking you up and dropping you off. So you do kind of stop asking after a while because you don't want to inconvenience people. And cab fare can be quite expensive if the event is on the other side of the city. So there is a reason. There's a reason that I only go to events like Grey Eagle for concerts and such, because I can almost walk there and it's a cheap cab ride. So don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. In fact, I find having the mobility that I have is a gift. And going to physio is a gift. And working your way through whatever it is to get yourself stronger is a gift. It doesn't happen overnight. And even if it stays the way it is now, at least I can be grateful for what I have. It makes me also think about people in Ukraine and other conflict zones when they are mobility challenged. How does somebody in a wheelchair manage to get around a war-torn area, get down into the shelters? How does somebody in a walker even do it? Especially if they lose their walker. It's something that I've been thinking about for a while, but I always thought about mobility issues for a long, long time, even back in my 20s, because when I used to sell manufactured homes, I had a really young girl that was in a wheelchair looking for a home and wheeling her to 3 different homes to show her. It just showed me how terribly inaccessible most buildings are for her. And now that I'm in that position a little bit myself, I've graduated from one cumbersome one to a less cumbersome one. And, whatever, it is what it is. And I'm not alone. And there are people that are dealing with stuff that is, chronic pain, and they can't leave their house because of their mobility issues. So I'm grateful for what I have, and my heart goes to those people that can't do as much as I can do, and because it gets really expensive when you have to bring in somebody to do shit for you. You don't realize how expensive that is, and a lot of times if you have benefits, like in Alberta we have AISH, qualifying is one thing. And the other is if you're on AISH, for most people, it's pretty hard to pay for some of that stuff if it's not covered under disability package. So don't take things for granted. Shit happens. You could have mobility issues tomorrow, and it could be for whatever reason. My friend Jim Moss, who was a professional lacrosse player, had woke up one day, overnight it happened to him. One day he's an all-star lacrosse player in the National Lacrosse League. The next day he can't get out of bed, and he's got to learn how to walk all over again. He had Guillain-Barré disease, and he was never able to go back into the league. Obviously, as a pro player, he had to find another way, and he did some really great things, and he's still doing some great things. So you just don't know what's going to happen, and when it does, I think that you could cry woe is me. I mean, pain is really difficult. If you got high pain level, it's really hard to think about anything else. But if you can bring your pain down a bit, even then, there's people that deal with really strong chronic pain every day, and they still have a pretty good attitude. So I think that we can learn a lot from people like that, because they have strength that we could never imagine. So anyway, just thought I'd share that. So mobility is a gift, and every single day that you can move around with ease, every day that you have a car, I did rent a car a while back, and my legs said, nope, you're not doing this anymore. So the positive thing is it's cheaper, and now that Alberta is raising those rates to infinity for car insurance, I don't have to worry about that. I've got a bus pass. So anyway, be grateful for the mobility that you have, even if you have to have it aided, because there are people worse off, but we just do what we can. And sometimes we do feel like an inconvenience, and a lot of times, especially if your whole crew is all able-bodied, they just don't see it. And we're all in that position at one point. So anyway, just thought I'd share.